Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to my Pro Gamecast series. I am Sylphin. In today's video, we are taking a look at a very high ELO match done about a few days ago. 1896 ELO versus an 1852. This is featuring Suki, one of the highest ELO players in Paragon currently. So hopefully it'll be a fantastic game to watch. Like usual, ladies and gentlemen, if you would like to support the channel, please head on over to my Amazon wishlist, my Twitch donation page, and my Amazon wishlist if you'd like to support that way. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are taking a look at this game. What can we learn from the pros, and how do they play? How can we become better players? So, on this blue team here, we have XL Survivor on Grim. We have 7 on Kwang, Epic Kensu on Rampage, Snoke Sky on Grux, and Mercedes on Gadget. Looks like they have a double jungler composition here with the Rampage and Grux, but the Grux is going to play a pseudo support there in the red lane, trying to stay close by, keep that Grim safe. On the orange team, we have Drakenfire as Murdoch, Suki as Crunch, Love to be Hated as Decker, Sexies as Rampage, and Aurelios as Countess. So right off the bat, we can see some interesting team compositions for both sides. We have the blue team here not having a strict support. Gadget is kind of considered a pseudo support hero, but I really don't think that she can really truly fulfill that role. So I would say that the blue team here has a high amount of damage. They're going to have to rely on some good engagements, some good early picks before team fights, as the other team does have a much better team composition, if you ask me. For the orange team, we have the Murdoch as the ADC, Suki as the pseudo jungler slash laner here, as he is in the right lane there against the Kwang. We have the strict support as Decker here as Love to be Hated, and Rampage as the tank and jungler, and then Aurelios on Countess as a great source of DPS, obviously being a burst caster assassin. So the orange team has a much better... very nice pull here for the Grux on the red lane. Can they make anything of it, though? The Grim not really able to slow him down yet with his suppression mode, but maybe some better communication there would have made that possible. Doesn't look like it. That was their chance here in this early game, and wasn't able to make anything of it. Snoke Sky is being very, very aggressive. He has to be careful. The Decker does have a stun with the Murdoch's DPS. This early game, he's going to have a tough time. Very interesting choice here to go a Grim and a Grux here in this left lane. Looks like a great gank here by the Rampage, and that's definitely going to result in a takedown here for the orange team, as the Rampage is able to get away. Very nice gank there by the Rampage. Again, a little bit late on the orange team's part to try to make something happen there, but it did work out in the end, and now this Grux is going to have to play very, very, very safe here in the left lane. There you go, guys. There is the benefit of having a true jungler here that has kind of been, well, doing something, as the blue team here, Rampage, we did try to make something happen here in this right lane, but nothing came of it. So as we were saying, the orange team is going to have a much better team composition. They have 3 frontline with the Countess kind of being a presence in the front line, but at least it is another melee hero to allow the Murdoch some space to do his damage. I really like that. The Decker is going to really be able to support their Decker in you know, letting him get that damage off. Plus, they do have great damage here with the Crunch and the Countess, but the only issue would be is that it's kind of bursty, so they're going to have maybe a little bit of an issue with sustain, as the blue team is going to have much better sustained damage with the Kwong, with the Grim, and with the Gadget. 3 great sustained damage heroes. It's going to enable them to maybe outlast the orange team here. If the orange team is not able to burst down a blue team's hero here with that Crunch and that Countess, maybe they will simply be outsustained by the blue team, as that is definitely a severe possibility. The orange team's Rampage here is indeed destroying this tower, this Harvester, which looks like our blue team Rampage was able to go all the way over there and steal that Harvester. Well, let's see if this Rampage here can in fact make something happen with this Crunch. But it looks like Suki is able to simply outmaneuver the Rampage. Let's see if he can make something happen here. I don't think so. He's going to dive really hard for it. Not able to make that happen. But now we have this could turn bad for our blue Rampage here. Some nice body blocks happening, but I don't think he will really get anything of it, as they do have their ultimates here. So Epic Kensu is going to have an easy time getting away with that, especially with his ultimate. We have a pseudo gank here from the Decker coming into the mid lane, but again, the Countess and Gadget, they're going to be at a bit of a standstill here, as the Gadget's going to be able to push back, and the Countess is going to have a really easy time clearing those lanes. So not much happening. That a Rampage v Rampage battle still happening, as they have quite a bit of sustain against each other there. So this red lane has been pretty calm after that early game gank. They're going to be doing a really easy job just kind of getting these last hits, as long as that Decker supports his Murdoch. I think they're going to win this red lane battle. Really, the blue team here is going to hinge on that pull from the Grux, and that's, while that is certainly very powerful, I think the Decker would be able to protect the Murdoch a little bit more, and a true support and ADC combo here is going to be much better in this red lane. As you can see, they are pushing it up dominant in that. Looks like there was a little bit of an overextension by the blue team's Rampage into the enemy jungle, and he paid for it, didn't get much of anything out of it. So looks like the orange team so far has been doing a better job this game, even though the blue team has managed to take down this right-hand tower down to half health, surprisingly. But the orange team is playing a little bit better, I would say, in getting some of these rotations, getting that early game gank, and we can certainly take a look at the card power here. 12-9-9-9, 12-9-9-9, 12 versus 12-15, 12-12. As we can see, just like I have predicted here, orange team is doing a little bit better with that early game gank. Look at that pull here. Something they make it happen. That's exactly what I said. Can the Decker protect? Yeah, and absolutely can. Look at that. Exactly what I predicted here. The Decker is absolutely able to protect that Murdoch with the containment fence, with the stun. Absolutely able to, and she's doing a fantastic job eliminating that Grimm's ultimate on the Murdoch to finish him off, as he was body blocking that ultimate there. So mid lane is going to be a little bit more interesting of a scenario now that the Countess has her ultimate. This Gadget here is going to have to be very careful not to let that Countess, you know, kind of slowly knock her down in the health department with her Dark Tide and her Blade Siphon ability. As long as she doesn't stay right on top of the lane waves in order for that Dark Tide to kind of hit her as well. As you can see, she's standing off to the side. She's making sure that this Countess can't get those last hits. So let's see how they are doing. 12 versus 15. The Countess is actually doing a very good job. She does have great lane clear, as her her teleport is absolutely able to obviously execute enemies, but her abilities deal so much damage, she can get those last hits very easily. Looks like we have a 3-person gank here on this left lane. The only person there is this blue Rampage. There is the stun, but no damage as the Murdoch is back up there, doing his job, getting those last hits. That is what they should be focusing on, especially against a Rampage here that probably has his ultimate and is able to just sustain through pretty much anything. Very interesting so far, guys. As you can see, interesting team composition and interesting choice for this Grux to go and help the Grim. Of all the heroes to do that, I would almost say that, well, Kwang is definitely a great lane hero with his lifesteal. He can simply just keep on attacking and he can get his life back. But Grux is a fantastic laner as well. He can just get so much done. He is so easy to clear a lane with his pull into his bleed. I don't know. Something. My gut is telling me that maybe they could have switched up this red lane and have Grux be a laner, and maybe the Gadget of all people help the Grim. At least she has her speed gate. She has her slow with her right click, and you know, maybe something could have happened a little bit better there in this early game. Looks like, oh, nice pull. Oh, but the Murdoch is barely on it, and that is definitely the deciding factor in this red lane. Absolutely just unfortunate that he runs right into the Grux's pull, right on the very tip of its range. And there is the turn of the tide, ladies and gentlemen. I think this might be a turn for the blue team. I think this will give them the advantage now, because they will have numbers advantage for at least 19 more seconds here, and they will have the ability to push up this left lane and this mid lane and perhaps the right lane, if that Kwang can indeed focus on that right lane. If that Gadget can put enough pressure on the mid lane, because there's two of them here in this left lane, they're going to have to answer this blue team somehow, and I don't think that they can split up 1-1-1 and at least save 2 towers. I think they're going to lose 2 towers here, ladies and gentlemen. The blue team has all of a sudden jumped in the card power department. Oh, not as much as I would have thought. 18, 18, 15, 12 versus 21, 18, 15, 12, 12. Oh, very, very close. Looks like that Gadget, though, maybe should have continued on the mid lane to get that, but both of them are playing it safe, letting the minions do the work, going back to base, getting their card power. The Rampage is continuing on the jungle, and maybe that is the correct decision here, ladies and gentlemen. Play it safe, let the minions get off that damage in those towers, not dive it, don't die, so that you can give the enemy team back the advantage. Go back to base, spend that card power, go into the jungle, get those caps, and play it safe. Looks like this Countess here in the mid lane is pushing it up. She has great lane clear, so this Gadget has to be careful, but it looks like it was perfectly calculated on her part, able to get back to base, or get back to lane exactly when they need it. It looks like there's a gank here on the left lane. The Gadget's trying to, the Decker is trying to do something tricksy, but not able to, as the Rampage is a little bit late here to the party. The Gadget maybe could come back, although it looks like she is trying to make something happen. Here's the Gadget. Looks like she was unloaded on, but Countess not able to make something happen there. Looks like the Decker is coming in from behind. Very nice. There is the slow. Can she make anything happen? There's a stun. Does the Countess have her abilities? No, she doesn't. Fantastic stun. Looks like she's going to be able to be taken out. Oh no, where did she go? Where did she go? She even tricked me out. Look at that absolute monstrous play here. I think she is, yeah, there she is. Fantastic play by Aurelios there to absolutely juke me out. We have the drone in the air. Looks like left lane, something happened there. The Countess was taken out, but they are going to pay for it as the Rampage is able to use his ultimate, follow the Grim, and that is 1 tower down for sure. Looks like they're going to trade for it, though. here in the mid lane. The Gadget, my goodness, what is going on with this camera? There we go. The Gadget did manage to get that mid lane. She is going to rotate left, see if they can save this tower. Barely able to save this tower, but the Rampage here is being a little bit greedy, being all alone. He definitely did see that Gadget rotating left. Not sure if that was just a misplay there, but looks like they are able to save this tower and get the mid tower. Very interesting. Excellent rotations, excellent utilizations of these of the rotations to solidify some ganks, solidify some team numbers advantage, to push down some lanes, get that mid tower. The Gadget went back to base, got back to base very quickly. A fantastic gank by the Rampage and that Decker there in the mid lane to kind of make it a no man's game until finally that Countess was taken out. Very, very interesting as the Rampage is being the blue team's Rampage being very aggressive here. Look at this, very much a fighter build, as you can see. He's very quickly taking out the this damage here. Mad Spore Sash, very interesting build here. There isn't an Iggy Scorch, so I'm not sure what that is, but he's trying to maybe focus on his presence in these team fights, letting that passive kind of tick away at the enemy team. So it looks like we are maybe going to be able to see some builds here for a moment, although this Rampage is getting ganked on. Has to be careful. The wards aren't that plentiful on the map, so he has to maybe play it safe here, as he's trying to get ganked on. He probably has his ultimate here. Yes, he does. That's why he is kind of baiting these guys into an engagement. Looks like now we have a team fight. There comes the Grux. There is a fantastic containment fence. Can the orange team utilize it, though? They aren't in the greatest position. Oh, they have to protect their damage dealer, though. The Countess is getting taken out, and she gets taken out. Now it's a 4v2. The Rampage used his leap to engage. He still has his ultimate. Maybe he can at least secure one death. There is the long arm of the law to do that. Can this Decker support the Rampage, though? No, not able to, as the 3 versus 4 is too much, and now this Decker has to go away. The Murdoch has to play it safe, puts down his ward as the Decker goes back to mid lane to at least get some card power. Oh boy, ladies and gentlemen, looks like the blue team's higher damage the blue team's higher damage composition here is paying off. The orange team isn't necessarily being in the greatest team fighting positions. They aren't getting, they aren't using their abilities here to, oh, wow, absolutely melted that Murdoch with the slow from the Grim, the stun from the Rampage. Fantastic. So there is that high damage composition working for the blue team. They are getting exactly what I said that they need to do. Get some picks, get the orange team out of position, eliminate one of their heroes so that their superior team composition is lacking a critical role, and the value of having a good team composition does fall away, and that allows the blue team to make that happen. Very nice job by Suki sidestepping that Grux pull, but Snook's guy is going in for the kill. Does he have enough, though? Once this Crunch uses his combos here, wow, absolutely melting the Grux. What happened there? Does Suki fall to the minions? Oh, he does. How unfortunate. Look at that dominant Suki play on the Crunch. Melts the Grux, and he was pretty much at half health to begin with. Looks like the orange team, do they have the superior card power? No, it's just Suki. 33 card power versus the Grux's 24. That explains it, ladies and gentlemen. All of this little bit of health and that damage and even more health. Holy smokes, with the Blink Charm. I very much like that idea on Crunch. Gives him the extra mobility to go in, do his thing, and get out. That's a lot of health. 2, 4, 6, 1,200 health by the mid-game point. That is a lot. Looks like a fantastic game by the blue team, but Countess, be careful. There is the ultimate to finish her off and get her health back. Boy, that Decker is being a fantastic support player, enabling these these ganks here to actually have some value. She's using her boosters to come up this little cliff there. Fantastic. Great job by the Countess to see that gank coming, utilize her abilities to make that play happen. Looks like the blue team's Rampage and Kwang is going there in the right lane. Might be able to get a tower, and unless Suki is able to defend that. Let's go and take a look at that right now. What can Suki do? He does have a lot of health, so he will have a huge presence here. And if he can just use his few abilities here to quickly clear this out, yeah, absolutely. Able to do this. Looks like Snook is getting stun locked, but the Murdoch there was not in position to apply his damage, so that was a little bit wasted. But I think, yeah, the Grex has to retreat as he knows the fate of this tower. Definitely something that I always recommend, ladies and gentlemen. If your tower is low, if it's a 1v4 on the tower, accept the fate of the tower. Retreat before you just become dead, just like the tower. So absolutely great job by that Grux, seeing his fate and going back. Looks like the blue Rampage here maybe sees this Countess, but doesn't see the Decker coming from behind. The Decker's being absolutely fantastic in these rotations, enabling at least some ability for plays to happen. Even if she is quite low on the card power, she is rotating lots, trying to make something happen. But a team player, as she's going to give the card power to the rest of her team, hopefully enabling them to deal it. Emphasizing even more the fact that the orange team has to focus on the strengths of their superior team composition in order to win this. They have to stick together, have to make sure that the blue team is not able to, you know, use their high damage composition to great effect. So there we go, guys. Let's see what happens here in this mid lane. No, looks like they were posturing for a team fight, but looks like this blue team's Rampage keeps getting caught out. It really needs to be more careful, as there isn't a tower to come back to. There isn't a safe defensive position. Maybe he is hoping his blue team will come to his aid. Rampage certainly can be a great, you know, bait for a team fight, but not able to. Okay, very interesting job here. Looks like this Decker is trying to initiate another team fight, but not able to, as she's going to simply be caught out here. The one support, oh, what happened to that ultimate? Didn't go off by the Grim. Maybe it happened to just hit the wall. There goes the Rampage. That high damage build from the blue team is able to melt down that Murdoch, as Love to Be Hated has to retreat. And wow, look at the blue team cleaning up a little bit. They are able to make a lot happen here. Looks like the Countess died somehow, maybe in this right lane. I'm not sure. I didn't quite see that. Suki is doing a great job here of pushing down this left lane, but he has to go back. He knows that he is overextended quite a bit. There's a whole minion wave. He's letting the minion wave here do his work for him, going back, saving his life, saving you know, that numbers advantage that he would be giving to the blue team. And boy, smart play on his part. Looks like the this blue team here is going to be able to get this mid tower. Is it enough, though? We are not sure. Let's see if Suki can make something happen. Can he catch this Grux? No, his forward crunch is not enough to catch up to the Grux and pin him down. But the gadget is overextending, or the Decker, pardon me, is overextending. Can she? No, she can't really make anything happen. She's trying to initiate, but looks like the rest of her team simply can't kind of keep up with her in this department. Looks like the Dagger is bloodthirsty, but she has no support, so maybe she just wanted to place down this ward, but with the blue team's ward, she's really not going to have much help here. So we can take a look at the card power now. Looks like the blue team 36, 36, 33, 33, 33, and the orange team 42, 33, 33, 27, 24. I would give the advantage here to the blue team for sure. They have simply been taking advantage of the few overextensions of the orange team, the Countess and the Rampage. Well, no, no, sorry, pardon me. The blue team has been the one overextending the Rampage, and the orange team's Gadget, sorry, Decker, my goodness, has certainly been the people that have been overextending. But the blue team has used their high damage team composition to really just utilize gank potentials in this early game, and I think that is how they have gotten their advantage thus far. It really hasn't been much competition elsewhere because the orange team hasn't been able to use their superior team composition. Suki has been in great opportunities to collect card power. As you can see, he's absolutely collecting card power like a monster. He's trying to be a fighter carry here, and I think, you know, for Crunch, that certainly is actually a great way to play him, as he does deal a high amount of damage. He does deal a high amount of burst damage, and if you can get him more powerful enough, I think that it certainly can work. 3 6-point cards, followed by a Windcarver Blade and an Amulet of the Veteran. He's changing it out now for a little bit of sustain. There is that Greater Guard to go against the enemy teams. 1, 2, 3 damage dealing heroes here, as this Rampage is going for... He's going for a little bit of a damage build, so that is definitely going to help, although the energy damage is pretty high on the enemy team. Definitely have to be a balanced approach, which this certainly will help here, at least cut down on the Kwang and the Grux that he's going to be fighting quite a bit. Blue team is absolutely posturing to get the Orb Prime, but looks like they were able to get the Rampage because the orange team was not together, and they were at a numbers disadvantage. The Murdoch was not there to be the damage that they needed. The Rampage couldn't handle the damage from the blue team, and the orange team is all of a sudden forced to relieve this Orb Prime to the blue team. They're going to have a very easy time taking this. Looks like the Rampage is very much peeling for his friendly team, but the orange, the Suki and the Murdoch being so powerful just chew right through him. Looks like the Murdoch can't get the Orb Prime, and that wasn't even worth it because there's only 2 of them alive, so it would only be applied to 2 of them. That was certainly not worth it. It would have been able, that would have stole the Orb Prime for the orange team and have not been applied to the blue team. So there is that. I don't think that was worth it. He is already at a disadvantage here. 36. 36. He should be here in Suki's position in 48, but he should have maybe just gone back, go to another lane, get some jungle camps, etc., etc. I don't think that was worth it. So vision for these teams here, definitely in favor of the blue team. It has been the entire game, ladies and gentlemen. Has been just essential for these ganks. The orange team has probably been doing a better job here in terms of ganking, but the blue team has just been able to stay alive. They have just been able to make stuff happen. Love to be hated. Getting caught out here really is being way too aggressive in her play style, and falls. The only support here falling for the orange team. Looks like the orange team is going to get a pick here, though, if the Rampage can take down Suki with that high amount of sustain. Though he has that tempered plate, so I don't think that Ken Sao can do anything. Now she's going to go up against the Countess, but now comes in the Kwang, And that's going to be it for her. No tricky business for her as she gets taken out. There we go, guys. There is that high damage build paying off, able to take down the overextended Decker, being able to take down the Countess there. Great rotation, and now they can just walk through this middle inhibitor. Not able to defend it. They probably should have retreated, accepted their fates. It's hard to do in game. You really, really want to simply just defend it. You want to make that. So there is that damage on the Grux, but there is the surrender by the orange team to the blue team. Very dominant display by the blue team. Orange team not able to make very much happen in terms of ganks, in terms of team fights. There we have it, ladies and gentlemen. Very dominant display by our blue team. Some key things here that happened in this game for me would definitely be that they utilized their high damage that they had on their build to take out key targets that were overextended, that were trying to make something happen, but you can simply turn that on their heads and get that gank. So they used their high damage to get numbers advantage, to push lanes, to get some tower, to get siege advantage, which then snowballed into card power advantage. And then, as you can see, orange team was not able to group up, to be in a position to group up, because they couldn't push their lanes in the right direction for far enough to group up to force a team fight, and then use that great team composition that they did have to their advantage. Somebody was already dead. Somebody would always overextend. The gadget the Decker was being really, really aggressive. The Murdoch was not playing as safely as he definitely could have. I would argue that the crunch, that Suki probably could have definitely been in the had rotated a bit more, helped out his teammate. He definitely was playing a long late game carry. Certainly is viable, but just couldn't make it happen. So they used their team team composition to the maximum, and I would say they had great ganks. The orange team actually did a really great gank as well, but the blue team was able to make something of it. They just used their damage. I don't know. Not much more to say about that. Definitely dominant display of team composition by the blue team, using their advantage to make something happen. Please like this video if you like it. Dislike it. Share with the community, of course. Subscribe if you found this helpful, found it enjoyable. Please subscribe so I can do it for you later. Until next time, like always, ladies and gentlemen, stay optimistic and positive.